Hello there, Brick Fanatics. There are some brand new LEGO Fortnite sets on the horizon, and the LEGO Group has actually addressed one of the big issues that people had with the initial LEGO Fortnite sets from last year. The LEGO Group has just announced 4 brand new LEGO Fortnite sets that will be releasing over the course of the summer. They've also announced this rather delightful little Keith Haring dancing figures set, which is brilliant in its own right. Unfortunately, with so many things all announced at the same time, we don't have time to give full attention to all of them, so we're just going to talk about Fortnite at the moment, and then hopefully we'll get the chance to come back to this one at a later date. Just wanted to mention it for the sake of completion so that you know it's coming, but I appreciate that if you clicked on this video you're probably more interested in learning more about Fortnite. So the big issue with the first wave of Fortnite sets, right? People were thrilled to have physical LEGO Fortnite just as they were thrilled to get the game the year before, but it was wonderful to finally have some actual LEGO sets with real LEGO bricks that you could build, and they were primarily focused on the brick built experience rather than being, for example, minifigure scale and featuring minifigures. And while I definitely heard a lot of comments from people saying things like, oh, I quite like the cute little Durrr burger that I can build and then put on my desk. I quite like the llama, I quite like the peely bone statue. It's fine, but the battle bus was the one that people were the most excited about simply because it came with minifigures. Now, as it happens, the battle bus is the only one of that initial wave of Fortnite sets that is not retiring by the end of this year. And that makes a lot of sense because as wonderful as it is to have that peely bone statue, there's not a lot of mileage that you can get out of that beyond just building it and appreciating it, whereas there are more play opportunities with the battle bus, and so it's probably got a bit more staying power within the LEGO catalogue because it'll go out to a wide variety of different LEGO fans, those who like play, those who want to put it on a shelf, anybody who's in between there. These new sets have a much greater focus on minifigures than on just being like a chunk of brick-built thing. Take, for example, this brick-built Klombo, which is just fun to say, brick-built Klombo. It's a brilliant little build in its own right. If it were following the mould established by the first wave of Fortnite sets, it could just be a build by itself and people would be able to get away with saying, oh, well, it's vaguely minifigure scale. But then the LEGO Group has gone the extra mile here and included a couple of minifigures in the box. And suddenly, this whole thing is transformed. It's not just a display thing that you can put on the shelf, it's also something that you can play with. And that's brilliant because it serves a much wider variety of needs within the LEGO fanbase. Perhaps an even better example is Mecha Team Leader here. This set didn't need to have a minifigure in the box. It's fairly complete as a build by itself, but it's really nice to have that minifigure. It gives LEGO Fortnite fans just one more character to add to their collection of minifigures. You've also got, for example, this Durrr burger. Now we've got the Durrr burger, like the brick-built Durrr burger, but now we've got the Durrr burger restaurant itself, if you can call this a restaurant, fast food outlet. And I've already heard comments from people who have said, yeah, that thing looks brilliant for play, but it's also going to integrate very well with my LEGO city, just as a little tiny little burger shack. The set that has actually caught my eye the most here, though, is this one, Peely and Sparkplug's Camp. It's very small, it's only got a few elements in the box, it's maybe not going to be quite as good for display. It's probably the most play-oriented of any of the Fortnite sets that we've had to date. But with a tiny 250 piece count, and 2 minifigures plus a skeleton, which personally I still count as a minifigure, plus a brick-built llama, plus a wolf, plus that little campfire, I feel like this is going to be the most accessible Fortnite set for a lot of people. That if you are a slightly younger LEGO fan who doesn't necessarily have a huge amount of disposable income, this is one that you can get with pocket money a little bit more affordably, or this is one that you can save up for pocket money, or this is one that you can ask a parent or a relative or a friend for as a birthday present or a Christmas present. And so this is the one that I feel like the most LEGO Fortnite fans are going to be interested in getting hold of, simply because it is that bit more attainable than some of these. Like the battle bus is fine, the battle bus is lovely. The battle bus is exactly what you would want from a LEGO Fortnite set, but it is also a very big set, and if you've seen any video on this channel before, you've probably already heard me say how I do not like it when important LEGO minifigures are locked into very large, very expensive sets so that not everybody can get their hands on them. The thing that I love about this particular wave of new Fortnite sets is that that is not a problem anymore. If all you want is a Peely minifigure, you've got multiple options here, and it does look like Peely is the one that Epic Games and the LEGO Group are convinced that the most people want, which is a fair thing to assume. He's turning up in kind of the same role as the Sonic the Hedgehog minifigure has in the Sonic the Hedgehog theme, where it's not in every single set, but he's in a lot of them. And much like Sonic the Hedgehog, you've got multiple different designs and printing here, and I think that that's really neat because it means that if somebody is going out to buy all of the Fortnite Lego sets, they're not just going to end up with a bunch of identical peely minifigures. They're going to have some variations there, they're going to have some different skins. And speaking of skins, this is a thing that I've already heard people saying that they are absolutely thrilled for and is going to be very, very important, in particular to those who play a lot of Fortnite, in particular those younger fans who desperately want more skins for playing Fortnite, but maybe don't necessarily have a lot of money and now don't have to choose between buying the Lego set and buying in-game things for Fortnite. These sets all come with a bonus skin in the box, so you buy the Lego set and then you can also download the skin to play in the game. And it's a continuation of the same kind of thing that Lego has been doing for quite a while now with their attempts at various different Toys to Life projects. I think the phrase Toys to Life is probably a little bit anachronistic at this point, but I still feel like it is the best way of describing what the Lego Group is doing here. They want you to buy the physical Lego, and then you can also bring that into whichever video or computer game you happen to be playing. We've seen this with video, we've seen this with Hidden Side, we've seen this with LEGO Dimensions, we've seen a variation of it with the Super Mario LEGO sets. And again, if you've seen a lot of videos on this channel before, you will know that this is not my favourite thing. I would rather just have the Lego. I'm not interested in the digital side of things. I appreciate that for a lot of people though, this is a game changer. This is going to be very exciting and they are going to love showing off their cool skins in Fortnite and having all their friends go, "Oh, where'd you get that from?" And they say, "Well, I bought the Lego set." And then all of their friends say, "Oh, I've got to go buy that Lego set too, and then I can get that skin." And off they go down to Smith's Toys to buy one. I've got to stop giving Smith's Toys free advertising just because the name is funny to drop into a sentence. Other crummy retailers are available. Now, I will reiterate the one big downside to having skins included in these boxes, which is, for parents in particular, when you buy your kid a Lego set, you think to yourself, finally, I've got them something to do that's going to keep them busy for half an hour that doesn't involve screen time. And wouldn't you know it, they're back 5 minutes later and asking you to type a code into the PlayStation so that they can get their new skin. So these Lego sets are going to lead to a contingent of the people purchasing them going, "Ah, I was supposed to keep you off the screen this afternoon." Nevertheless, it's hard to argue with the fact that for the people who actually want to build and play with these Lego sets, these are delivering exactly what people have been wanting from the start. You get a cool minifigure, you get a nice little build to go alongside that, and then you also get something fun to take into the game with you. The only thing that I feel we're not getting yet is that variety of minifigures, and that is the downside of seeing Peely in so many of these sets where other different minifigures could have been included instead. I feel like with the possible, but only possible, exception of Star Wars, Fortnite is the brand partner that the LEGO Group is working with at the moment that the most people would be desperate for a collectible minifigure series for. And that does make sense when you look at the game itself and how so much of that game is built around having your own personal avatar, your character that is dressed the way that you want, and there are an awful lot of people out there who want to be able to recreate their favourite skins in physical LEGO form, much in the same way that Dungeons & Dragons was just a perfect fit for a collectible minifigure series. Either way though, these sets are definitely a step in the right direction, and we do know that the LEGO Group does pay attention to the chatter online, so if a CMF series for LEGO Fortnite is something that you desperately want, you've got to just keep making noise about it. Just keep reminding the LEGO Group and Epic Games of just how much money you are willing to spend on various different LEGO Fortnite minifigures in a collectible minifigure series. Otherwise, it's kind of nice to not have too many negative things to say about these sets. I only wish the LEGO Group would take this format and apply it to some other licensed themes that they have. I'm looking at you, The Legend of Zelda. Let us know your thoughts on these new sets down in the comments, which ones you are going to be picking up, which ones are maybe not for you, and what else you would like to see from LEGO Fortnite in the future. Make sure that you do all of the rest of the YouTube things as well. Give the video a thumbs up and hit subscribe and the notification bell. Now, if you are going to be purchasing any LEGO sets from the LEGO website in the near future, make sure that you do use the affiliate link which is down in the description or the QR code that is currently on screen. They take you straight to the LEGO website. We get a percentage of the sale when you purchase through those links, but it doesn't cost you a penny extra. Just helps to keep the lights on at Brick Fanatics. Do also make sure that you go to brickfanatics.com for coverage of all things LEGO Fortnite and sign up to our newsletter so that you never miss anything LEGO related ever again. Thank you very much for watching and have a wonderful day.